I want to give you 3 critical reasons why you've got to watch this video in its entirety. Number 1, I'm going to show you in less than 5 minutes how in less than 5 minutes you can apply for CARES Act funding in our local community and hopefully in yours as well. Number 2, that 5 minutes invested could net you $5,000 in CARES Act funding for COVID impacted expenses. And lastly, because you deserve it. As an early childhood educator, we have got to look back and we need to reach out to the government and ask for that extra help, because who knows what lies ahead. We have to owe that commitment to our staff, our families, and our children, our community. So let's dive into a little piece of CARES Act funding knowledge that I received lately from a local provider that I work with. So here we go. I want to talk to you today about CARES funding and money that's available today in our local community. I'm going to read you this. In our community, Mesa County Community Services Block Grant has received additional CARES Act funding to support our community in recovering from impacts of COVID-19. Now, if you're watching this and you don't live in Mesa County, keep watching, because you need to reach out to your local county and find out where that CARES Act funding is going and look for opportunities to apply for CARES Act funding in your local community. I'm going to share with you, though, the model here in Mesa County. So if you're a Mesa County provider, a childcare provider in a center or home provider, you've got to watch this. If you missed this in our last directors meeting, this is why I'm giving you this recap. So here it is. Eligible entities must provide services to individuals who earn an annual household income at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. All right, so for example, families that are on child care assistance, they're gonna qualify. They're gonna be under that 200% federal poverty level. Those that qualify for free and reduced meals through your lunch program, through your meal program, if you subscribe to that, they're gonna be at that 200% poverty level. So you can look it up online. A family of 4 earning less than $52,400 is right at that 200% federal poverty level. So let's say you serve 100 families, and let's say that 25% of your families are at or below the 200% federal poverty level. You can be reimbursed for expenses proportionate to the number and percentage of families that are under that 200% federal poverty level. Now, I'm not an expert in any of this. I'm just sharing information because I am an expert in advocating for professionals in our early childhood field. So follow me on this. Activities eligible for funding must be generated or geared toward elevating the causes and conditions of poverty in your community and must meet one of the federal objectives: employment, education, including childcare, housing, health, social, behavioral development. All right, examples of eligible activities include purchasing additional PPEs, cleaning supplies, providing food. I'm gonna stop right there. Think about, and in our local community, our community services block grant, they had this funding available. They received approximately $215,000 and were said, here, this money needs to go and fall into these parameters. So they're trying to get the word out and educate people. Again, if you're not in my local community, reach out to your local community and find out more about CARES Act funding. And so they did that, and they determined that this money could go back from the beginning of COVID. So let's just say March is when the world kind of started really feeling the rattle, right? So think about, if you have 100 families, 25 of those families, think about 25% of your expenses for PPE material, your 25% since March of your expenses for cleaning supplies, food costs, right? These are all monies geared towards servicing your community, the part of your community that is within that 200% federal poverty level or lower. And again, just find out. I'm giving you some general parameters, some information that I've received that's solid in Mesa County. So what about additional staffing needs, additional cleaning, expenses that have increased due to COVID-19 restrictions? All right, so in our community, through this program here, if you're a child care provider in Mesa County, you need to apply for this. I'm gonna put the link to the application in the description of this video. It is simple. You cannot use the excuse that I don't have time. You can fill this out in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and you can receive up to $5,000 in CARES Act funding. $5,000, 5 minutes. And you're gonna have to back it up with some stuff later, and they'll reach out to you. But here in Mesa County, you need to apply, and then applications received by the 20th of the month get reviewed. And there could be some discussion back and forth to really find out what your needs are and make sure they qualify. And then that funding is available, I believe, at the end of each month. And it's available until the funds run out. Once funds are gone, it's gone. So please, I know as a child care provider, you are being impacted tremendously by COVID, by restrictions, by quarantines, by all kinds of things. And so jump on this. Advocate for your families before you get to the point where you have to make really, really hard decisions. So last couple things here, let's see here. When it comes to figuring out, what those expenses are, I encourage you to put it on a spreadsheet. So go back, say, to March 1 or March 15th. Pick a date where COVID began, the impact hit you. For us, it was spring break. It was back, middle of March. And so that's when we had all of our families pulled out and all that. So, literally you can put your expenses, your food expenses, your PPE expenses, your cleaning supplies, put it down on a spreadsheet, and then multiply that times the percent of families that you serve that are at 200% federal poverty level or below. And you may have to ask your families. You may have to find, substantiate how you've come to those numbers. If you say that 25 or you say that 50% of our families, obviously if they qualify for certain government programs, that should be pretty easy to determine, what percentage of your families you serve in that area. You can't use these fundings here locally. This money's for projected. You can't apply for that saying, hey, if I close down, then I'll have that money to pay my staff or this and that. But it's going to be current or past expenses due to COVID. So please, there's so much information. I'm going to put Joy Huddock's number also in the link here in the description below for local if you're Mesa County. Again, if you're out of Mesa County, reach out to your local health department, your local workforce center, and ask them, hey, have we received CARES funding monies in our community, and where are they? How do we apply for those? So this is open to all kinds of industries that serve some of the objectives like employment, education, housing, health, social, and behavior development. But childcare is just one of those. So please reach out. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you're going to pick up the phone, you're going to dial that number, you're going to get online, you're going to apply for that funding, especially here in Mesa County. Let's continue to really help everybody, each other, recover as fast as we can. Have a marvelous day. I hope this was a video. Make sure you like this video. Put any comments in there. I'll pass them on to the powers to be. All right. Thanks so much. Have a marvelous day.